Sound here. Okay, I'm back with another live stream today, and two in one day. Well, I've been doing that lately. I'm going to continue on with my Behringer. Let's see, let's get the regular close up here since I'm going to have to turn. Okay, my Behringer Vamp, which is what I use for my Efx processor for my sound here on my SM58 Mature SM58 mic. I could do another mic. I have another on this board, which is what I'm leading to here. The Behringer XENYX 802 mixer that I just got a couple months ago. I have just now really getting around to really setting everything up and tweaking out the sound and getting it right. It was actually better. It was better. I had it all tweaked out on just this alone, and then when I added this, it changed the gain structure, and I finally got it all figured out. And I was having a little bit of distortion problems in some videos, and others I was having. I believe it was the compressor making noise when it was kicking in because the signal was well. And one thing, gain structure. I just started with the channel and the master at Unity, like he's kind of that's what they teach them in school anyway. What I've always been told, but everything is always different. Your gain structure is always different. So what I ended up with was. I noticed in my video my hand going around here looks terrible because there's some delay in my video and everything. But so I'll try to do it. Can't. The way I'm setting, that's the only hand I got to do it with. So anyway, I ended up with my my channel input, my mic input channel like that at I guess you'd say about 1 o'clock, and then my my gain I have tried with a little gain, with no gain. Anyway, the gain is about like that. Right there. If you have one of these boards, then that would give you I'm pointing the ruler in the direction of where where it is that way, not this way. Actually, it's a little more than a quarter. It's more like a third. I'm not going to try the clock. I can't remember that anyway. Like I was thinking a while ago, well, nobody even uses a regular analog clock anymore anyway. So they're digital, so it means nothing to young people. Okay. I'm not using the control room, but I'm going to hook it up. I'm going to pass my my audio output from my computers, all of them, through this control room, through a channel, through channel 5 and 6, or 3, yeah, probably 5 and 6, and then I'm using 3 amps really. I've showed them a while ago before in the previous video, but I have 280-watt car amps that I put in a computer case and with 2 computer power supplies to power them, and so but the cable that's going to them is a single cable that's split down there in the box. So I can use one cable, stereo cable, on this channel, and then I can control the gain, the volume, the input gain to the amp right here, as well as in the computer. So I'll get it like at a happy spot and leave it most of the time. If I ever need to for some reason, I can change it. Well, I can change it when, like, if I'm running more than one computer, and in my previous video I explained for all about that patch bay and how it works, and it's pluses and minuses. But if you have a couple of, even just 2 computers running, you'll lose a lot of your volume sometimes so much that you can't hear what they're saying on some of the YouTube videos I watch and stuff. And so this will give me some gain, and then I also run over to my AWA jam box, and I'm running 6 speakers is what I'm running. So the AWA jam box has 2, and then one car amp has 2, and then another car amp has 2. So it's not surround sound; it's in stereo though. And so anyway, I'll either run the AWA through here or through the tape inputs. I've kept going back and forth on that. Probably through a channel. I don't actually need the car amps could really use the volume control, the gain input and all. The AWA, I can just use the remote on it. It's got its own built-in volume and everything. But that wouldn't be input volume. That would just be. So it would be. Yeah, the cool thing would be is I can kill it all the way, or I can turn it up as much as I want. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on a channel, because there's no really in controls on this tape input. There's no volume for it or anything. It's just all a line level signal, And what you can do is you can have a tape coming in. It could be anything, you know, a phone. I saw one guy in one of his videos, he was using a phone to send music, sound effects, he said, into his videos and stuff. And he had a little app that he could just, you know, use the phone. But you could use a cassette player, you could use whatever, you know. Cassette players is what we, and DVD players is what we usually use this kind of thing for. Well, actually, we always did it on a channel, on a row. When I used to mix sound for bands, we'd put it on our last channel usually. Back then, we didn't really have combo channels, not on Mackies anyway. The Behringers is the one that really started doing that a lot that I had dealings with. And so we'd put it on the last two channels, you know, and have two sliders, and that's a lot quicker than a knob, and I like sliders much better. You can just glance at the board and see where everything is. In that video, well, in my preview, it looks like you can't really tell where they are, and I have to really focus in to look and see where they are. If I've looked away and then look back, like right now, it's fine. I can see it good. But if I look away and look back, I have to look. And it's good that it has a little bit, you can feel it, as they say, tactile feedback. You can feel it, and that's what I go by mostly, is how I feel of the extrusion there sticking out. So, anyway, my audio is finally sounding good. I'm not having distortion or compressor noise problems. So I'm going to leave my mic channel as it is, and then if I want to ever use another mic, I've got another channel for mic there. And these would be good for these are really 4-line level inputs. So these channels here, they don't have an XLR, they don't have a gain, so they would be good for, that's what they're designed for. So I think I'll just put them to use here and give me more control over my, what I'd like to do is what they call a mix minus, but not for like, they were the video I showed the guys channel, and it's a good video on how to do it. One of the best ones I saw several. For like where you can hear the Skype caller, put it into your video and stuff, you know. You can hear them, but they don't hear themselves and they don't get echo or anything. It's pretty cool. But that's not what I really need to do. And he actually used the Efx send and returns for that. That's another thing you could do. What I would like to do, and maybe I'll end up using those for that. I'm thinking about it. I'll have to look in the sound settings on the computer, but I'll take one thing at a time. I'm thinking I might be able to, I'm already using, you know, the normal line level out from the computer to my patch bay to get sound out of the computer, but you might be able, why don't I look while I'm talking about it? Oh, let me get on the desktop so that you will see what I'm talking about. And let's get in the audio settings. I don't know if you can do it in the normal ALSA audio, but you might be able, you could do it in pulse audio. Okay, here's my input. Okay, that's my signal right there, right? Okay, now here's my output. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's just your standard output line out. Now you can select different things, and I don't want to do that now. That'll lose my audio. But what I'm thinking is maybe you can select both. The way mine's set right now, and I did it because I like it that way, is if you plug in the headset in the front of the computer, then it turns off the output. This one here, the line level output. But I could set them to where it doesn't mute it. It says mute, you know, mute is what they say. And so that I could run a separate, another output back into this board, so that, and I can plug it in. I can listen to it on the headphones if I want, instead of having it play out into the room and add echo to my mic, which would be bad. I could have it playing through just through the headphones. Actually, the easiest way probably to do that would be, let's see, control room to headphone. No, let me look. Trying to think of how I could do that without it going to the mains is what I was thinking. Control room will do that, but since I want to use that to control my, let's see. I gotta really think about that. Let me get out of this software. Okay, I want to look over here. Now here's the other thing you can do. Like if I wanted to hear, okay, OBS, yeah, there's no control there for what I was thinking. See, only audio program I'm running is OBS Studio, the one I'm broadcasting with and recording with. What I would, I've never messed with this, so I don't even know what. Look how that one is and how that one is. I don't even know what they do, and I would have to play with them when I'm not doing recording, so I won't mess anything up. But I do know. Let's see. Okay, let's try an experiment. I'm going to switch over to, you won't see it, but I'm going to switch to, let's just right there close. Let's do my intro titles with sound. Okay, nothing shows up any different in there. That's what I can't hear, is my intro and exit title, so I don't actually know where to cut. I just kind of, I'm getting a little better at it just by, okay, it seems about the right place in the timing in my head, you know. But I've always, I mean, I used to mix sound, and that was one of the things I really tried to do well. Like if you know, between a band quitting and starting your music up to play between sets and all that, I tried to keep that all seamless. You know, that was just something I learned to do, and so it bugs me that I can't do that in my videos because I can't hear it, and I don't really have a way to hear it. I'm gonna shut that down. So that's what I was getting at. But it's really because I'm playing it through OBS Studio, and it just doesn't have a way to do that. I looked it up online, you know, started researching and found out that, yeah, they didn't put that in there. And it's probably best overall because you're going to have such trouble with it's so complicated, and, you know, it's complicated for anybody, even if you're used to mixing sound, if you're, when you're doing live stuff, and that's what OBS is all about. How funny. It's one of the funniest pictures I've ever found. I think you're seeing that, right? Yeah. I mean, that could work. I still haven't decided if that's a real thing or not, you know. Like, I've never found, I think I went and looked them up one time to see if I could find one for sale. But here's the thing that kind of makes me think it's probably not real. The size of that floaty thing he's got there. Just that motor alone should sink that, much less him and that motor. And that prop with that, it looks like, at first time I was like, that's just an electric fan. But no, I think that's just a motor with a, you know, a protective cage around the prop. But, and I said, oh, there's one thing though. I happen to know this, and you know what? See that right there? That's the gas tank, and this whole thing could be the gas tank. Gasoline is extremely buoyant. It will instead of just having air in there or foam, like that thing, you'd think it might be made of foam. If that thing is full of gasoline, yeah, you might blow up, but don't smoke while you're fishing. But that just might float you. It really might. It just doesn't look big enough to float you in a motor and all that. So anyway, it looks like a real thing. Okay, enough of that. Camera 2? Yeah. Okay. Have a drink. So, besides having control, actually even somewhat more important to me than having control over both, you know, like I don't actually need a channel to control my AWA. I can control its volume with a remote like I always do. I just have a line level input going into it from my patch bay up there. I would, anyway, but I might be able to use these, yeah, these effects. Okay, these effects only go to the channels. Let me, okay, I can't see it and be at my mic at the same time. This is my big problem here. See, when I turn around, I'm too far to see, and if I lift it up, I still can't really see it. Yeah. Okay, so I was planning on using my wireless mic. I just like the sound of the 58 so much better. But I'll switch over to the wireless mic. I was planning it because I'm going to get up and do my wiring that I was been talking about here. Let me just do my switch to the other audio right now. Kept talking there. Okay, I should be good on my other audio. Now let's go back to camera 2. I am going to listen in on my live stream, make sure it's all good, and make sure my audio is good. since I did that switch and I'm so prone to making mistakes, you know, if you're hearing me talking about it right now, then you'll know what I'm doing. If you're not, then you'll be sitting there going, "What happened?" Man, my voice. I guess it's not good to try to do 2 videos in one day. Really, my voice is already hoarse. And yeah, okay, we're on the other mic, and we're live streaming good. Everything's good. All right, now let me get to where I can see. I can get up even. I don't have to be sitting anymore. So, see, I need light on the subject besides. And that's the only thing I don't like about this, sitting here flat on this, but it's really the only place I think I've got in the room to set this thing where I can reach it without having to get up. And I will need to reach it while I'm, you know, doing a video. So, or at any time when I'm, you know, if I'm just, like if I run my amp signals through here and I want to change something while I'm watching a video, I don't have to get up, you know. Okay. Aux in, aux return. What you can do, instead of using the Efx send and stereo, they should say aux in and aux return, or Efx send and Efx return. Efx send, you know, and Efx return. That's why Mackie boards always were. They had both. They had auxes and FXs. Efx. They say FX, and used to say EFX, I think, on the Mackies, but that's what I used most of the time back when I mixed sound throughout the 90s. So, yeah, you could do an aux return from the other, say like the headphone output on the computer. If you could separate, like say, well, let's say you're trying to do the Skype, and if there's a way in the software, and you might be able to do it in Pulse Audio, even if you can't. That was the ALSA interface there, but there's also, pretty sure I have Pulse Audio on that computer. If I don't on that one, I do on some others, but you can always install it. But you could use the aux return, and then I could take any channel I want and just turn up aux return, and it would play, and I could hear it. And let's see now, how would I not send it to the mains though? There's no punch in and punch out. You see, bigger boards have channels to like send it only to headphones. So PFL, I believe it's called PFL, to only send it to the headphones. And this doesn't have that. But there may be a way to do it. If it sent it back to the mains, then you would have echo problems. What I want is to be able to monitor it. Now, maybe the Efx send. I might be able to plug my headphone into the Efx send and hear it. I don't know if it would work that way. Okay, Efx, yeah, that sends your channel, what's on your channel, out. Return sends it back. But that's back to the main mix, though. So what about the tape? You can do tape to control room. Yeah, that would work. Okay, so if I use the tape, if I sent signal out of the headphone jacks into the tape input, and then hit control room, the button, punch in the button, tape to control room, that should play it out on control room for me. And that's where I'm going to be putting my, that's how I'll be turning up the that'll be my master volume of my channels. Oh, but wait, if I put those on a channel, there's no way to keep them out of the mains. You can't say send to only control room, send only to mains. If I put something on this channel and bring it up, I think I need to plug something in there and play with it with my headphones on and see exactly what it does. I thought I had all that down already, but let's do this other business first. That's going to take a lot more experimentation. It may do what I want, but I'm not 100% sure. This little board's got a lot of features, though, for such a little board. I looked and looked at them, every brand, and this one turned out really to have the most features for a $60 board that I found. Now, let's get on both cameras. That way, kind of see what I'm doing wherever I go, and I'll take this one and aim it to what I'm doing. I don't like that sticking in there. I'm going to put it back on my headphones cable. I'll just put it, yeah, I don't want to lose it. I was using it in my jam box to monitor my signal. That's how I finally got it tweaked out. I won't go into that again. It's in the previous video. But oh, well, I do need to think about this, don't I? Okay. Let's go ahead and turn this to where. Oh, dang it. Okay. My cables. I was trying to think. I was thinking of the normal old small RCA cables. I have some fairly long ones down there, I think, in my box. This was my little emergency kit. I would carry little cables with me to my shows. These are my things. Now this is something. I bought this. It's a pretty long 10 to 15 foot RCA that I bought for wiring stereo amps in my van, and I never did it. Never got around to it. Don't have an amp in it yet. And this is another set for composite video. It's got audio and video, so it's got 3 instead of just 2. Here is sort of an insert cable, but it's RCA on one end, 1/4 inch TRS on the other. Could be useful. Would be good for plugging into the and then I have a few others of this and that. It'd be good for plugging in straight into that tape in or out. We'll see. Okay, now what do we need to show? Okay, I'll show my patch bay right now. There's where I'm going to be working. I think, yeah. There we go. That's where I'm going to start out. Okay. But now here's what I was thinking. I would take this one. See, this one goes to my amps down there on my computer power supply amp. This goes to my AWA jam box down there that you can't really see yet right now. Okay, so I was going to take those and route, and that's coming on tips. That's coming out of the patch bay down to the amp. So this would be on the out on my board here. It's my output that I'm going to use on the board, so that would be my control room output. Yeah, that's how I was going to do those. Control room out. Okay, but, and that would actually like make me hear my mic as well. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So I would hear my mic. If I'm just doing if I'm doing a show like that, my Mac's SM58, I wouldn't hear the wireless because it only goes through the computer via Wi-Fi through OBS Studio, so I wouldn't be able to hear that. Unless I figure out a way to monitor OBS Studio's audio output. Then okay, yeah, like I was saying through the earphone out or something, then that's control room out. So then, yeah, the control room out would send everything to my amplifiers, but since I have more than just one output for amplifiers, I would have to split it or something. I could just do a split, you know, to go. I can use those big long RCA cables, and then I've got RCA to 1/4 inch adapters, and I can just plug those in there on this end and go out and do another split. One goes to the amp, the other one goes to the jam box. And then I could turn up everything that's in the board, you know, up and down right there. Try to use my left hand so you can see what, all you see is my hand when I do that. But I can turn that up and down. See that I'm doing it and it doesn't do anything to your sound. I already know that. I'll check that out. But that's my output. Okay, so the inputs would be everything on the board. There we go. Okay, so if I do put that in a channel, but the problem with that is, if I do run them through a channel like that, then they'll also be going to the main. I can't turn the main down while I'm recording. That kills my signal. So, same thing with this one. Okay, so if I did use the aux, it's not going to matter. Yeah, I could use the aux, but that's still going to send it to the main and the control room at the same time. If I was to do an aux, like use the aux return as an alternate input, instead of doing, so it's really set up to send the signal out to, like, say, to this, which I went to that over why I'm not doing that in my last video. I'm doing daisy chaining, main output to this, and then from this to the computer. You'd go out to an effects and then back into the returns, and then each channel you could bring it up and down in each channel as you wish. But then you also have, that's the wet signal, and you also have the dry signal at the same time, and I don't want the dry signal because then I'd have my distortion and all that stuff in my mic. So that's the thing on that. Okay, so this, you can do control room, 2-track, they call it the 2-track, the tape in and tape out, they call it 2-track, they don't even say tape on there. I guess they don't call it tape because people don't use tape much anymore. Okay, so 2-track, left and right, 2-track, to control room, and 2-track to main mix. Now that gives me the kind of functionality I want. Oh, and there's an aux return gain right there. Okay. Yeah. So you can use, I would have volume control over it, but the aux return is still going to both your main and your control room always. If it's either going to be on or off. Oh, I could turn it off. Let's see. I can have individual channel controls as to which ones I want to go where. Yeah. So if I did use, say, I had 5 and 6 up, and then I could bring this up and down. That would still go to the main mix. I couldn't do that during my recording, because then it would be bad echo. All that would work great just during normal listening. But, let's see. Okay, so let's go back over to the tape. Okay, tape. I could use, let's just say I was just trying to do the amps, the big amps right now. Okay, so I could just bring my RCAs in here, and and then I could send them to the control room if I want, and then I could turn this up and hear it or not. Oh man, I'm turning myself around and around. You see, it's a little bitty board, but it can get things complicated. There's so many different things you can do, and I'm old and I can't think straight anymore. But there's so many different things you can do, things I used to do, you know. And so, lots of times I had to spend a lot of time figuring out how to do stuff. I just realized my AWA jam box is on tape because I put it on that one. I was afraid it would, can't see it anyway, but I have it on tape. I'm going to put it on, use the remote. Ooh. Actually, the buttons on the front don't work so good anymore. They don't always do what, when you hit them, they don't always do what they're supposed to do. So now it's on what I would normally do so that I could hear it. I think I'll unplug that mic input. That was what I was using to get the signal from the Vamp, so I could monitor the Vamp signal. To get that signal from the Vamp over into the into there, and then plug the headphones in, and I was listening. That's how I finally got to where I could hear it in real time. Even though that mic input's only a mono, wasn't stereo, but I still could hear it and hear the noise, whether it was noise or not. And then I finally got that noise out of my signal. Okay. So, yeah, if I preempted, I think I need to listen on it somehow. Let's see. What do I have that I could put some sound through that? I guess I should look on the computer first. Let's go ahead and look at Pulse Audio, because let's try to do what I really want to do. I was starting to say, well, I'll get a little tape deck or something. Well, I have those over there. I could run a cable from one of my cassette decks or something. I've got a nice TAC dual cassette deck, and then there's the dual cassettes on that Alwa Jam box. But let's go back to the nice mic while we're down here. While we're down here at the computer desktop, and okay, let's see, are we good? Yeah. Okay, so here's what was I going to check? Audio. Okay, let's go to audio. So the normal audio we already looked at. So let's go to Pulse Audio. See if there's a Pulse Audio app on here. Maybe just have to look up. That's not it. Audio. Oh, jack. That's one way I could do it. That makes it a lot more complicated. You can do a lot with jack audio. But Pulse Audio is actually running already. You don't have to start it up and do all that. But I have done some things with jack, and this is the normal ALSA interface. See, there's my hardware, there's my input right there, output, line out. Oh, you know what? I can change that while I'm using the, you know what, I don't know what would happen. Let's try it. But anyway, yeah, on that, those there automatically set themselves, and it's working good, so I'm not going to mess with it. I do wonder if, like, my music signal is louder than my talking signal. I wonder if that's the music and that's the mic inputs. Of course, I could change them right here, but I find that, and I did for a while, but it gets confusing to. I'd have to switch over to one that plays music, a scene. Those are called scenes that plays music in order to show you. But I like them better all the way up. Just makes it simpler is better. Okay, so what I was thinking was, let's mute this one again. And I use a keyboard shortcut to mute and unmute all instances of Cam3 audio coming through the Wi-Fi into OBS Studio. So I think maybe it'll still work. That won't messing around with this won't interrupt my audio, I don't think. But if it does, I'll be quiet for a minute. I'll be silent. I'll keep talking just to see if it's going to work. Okay, yeah, headphones, speakers, and line out. Okay, so there's not a way to say both. But go to headphones. Yeah. Somewhere in there's a spot where you can turn on and off the auto mute. I don't know where it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play with that. I don't want to do it in this recording though, to see what's going on with that. But they're both on, so it'd be something if that was the only reason I didn't hear my sound, is because maybe that's the music playing in the background. And I mean intro and exit music, not background music. I don't use background music. I find it, when somebody's talking and telling a story, most background music, you know, everybody has different taste in music, and somebody's going to hate it, somebody's going to like it, somebody's just wish it wasn't no noise bothering them. That's my problem nowadays is, you know, it's just noise competing with me trying to listen to what somebody's saying. So even if it's something I like. So, and, you know, like I like to watch a lot of four-wheel drive videos and stuff, and motorcycles and stuff. I want to hear that engine. I don't want to hear your favorite music. I want to hear your engine. That's music to my ears. Like, finna get on Roadkill. If you're watching in the Hot Rod Magazine Roadkill shows on YouTube, Finnegan calls it the engine noise music to my ears, the music of my people. That's what he calls it, the music of my people. And that's definitely a good, best way to describe it to me I've ever heard. So, let's go back and try to find pulse audio again. No pulse. Let's see if I missed something in the audio section. I really thought I had there's a jack audio analyzer. I saw that. Where'd it go? I don't think I've ever used it. Which one am I on now? Okay, let's go back to the mic. Okay, we should be back to normal. Let's look at our audio. Make sure that we've still got a good signal. Okay, looks okay. Audio analyzer. Let's see if that shows anything while we're actually live talking. I don't know. You probably have to turn jack on. If I started up jack, if you don't know what it is, it's a really complicated but really powerful audio software. Oh, it didn't even start up. It probably didn't start up because I don't have jack running. I had one machine that the only way I could actually do any audio with it was to use jack, and so I set it up to start up with the system, but this one's not like that. Okay, so sound. I have so many of these programs that I hardly ever use or have never really used, but I always want them to be there just in case. I don't want to use them. Audio sound cards. Oh, that's just, I put that on there because I thought I would see what it was. Echo digital audio sound cards. Those are a brand of sound cards. I didn't realize it when I installed it. Okay, so there's one called Jack Rack, and that's how you'd start it up and everything, but I'm not going to. See, there's jack capture. Yeah, I don't see anything about pulse audio on here. Maybe since I didn't really come across a time that I needed it, I just didn't install it. Well, see, I typed in jack in my application search there, and that's how many things. Jack rack, that's the one. And some of them, they come up because they work with jack, like non-sequencer. Okay, so on this machine, I'm not even gonna, I don't know if that jack rack will start itself up if I click on it. So let's don't do that. I'll probably break my recording. So let's go back to my other deal again. Keep going back and forth. It's better if you just stick with one or the other, really. My sound working? Oh, yes. You're getting terrible. Sorry about the echo. Hello, check. Okay. If I move the mic, I'll know. I got the mic. Well, I got them both right there. I'm wearing one and the other one in front of me. Okay. I know I'm so bad. I'm so forgetful these days that I want to make sure I'm not. Oh yeah, there's not going to be any input. Well, there's a tiny little bit of input level because I moved the mic away from me. Yeah, okay. If it shows up in here, that it is going to be good. Okay. Check 1, 2. I'm just doing that so I can see the signal jump. Okay. Now here's what I'm I lost my whole, I thought I had it all figured out and I was just going to do it. But then it hit me. Wait. Okay, so I run my signal through here. And I come in, you know, the input's here. That's fine for just listening to my computers, all of them. You know, I can control that. And I can turn it up and down anytime I want. And it can go through, well, and I was going to use the control room output so as not to disturb my main, this is going to be my recording settings right here, my main. I don't want to change that, because if I change it, I'll forget, you know, next time I start up my, I want to try to always leave it at the same spot, or just have it, even if I change it, I want it to be for recording to the computer. This main output goes to the computer through the Behringer Vamp. So the control room, that's actually what it's made for, even anyway, is to go to your speakers and stuff, so you can monitor what you're recording. So that's why I thought that's the way to set it up. Okay, so, but I forgot that the only way to get a separate mix is to do tape input, and then you can go to control room. But you know what? I think it always goes, well, no, you got separate. To control room, two mains. I really turned my knob. So yeah, you can have either or both. It's the only option I've got to do that I think will work right. Because if I go through a channel, if it's on, it's going to be going through to my recording. So I could make it work by turning it off anytime I'm recording. These two, I could turn, like if I use these two, I could say turn them off while I'm recording, turn them off when I'm done. I mean, probably said it wrong. Turn them on when I'm done so that I can listen back. Of course, that's going to be something I'm not used to. I'm not used to having to turn any volume knobs external from the computer when I want to listen to something. It would be a nice safety thing so you wouldn't accidentally get any feedback. And of course, when I'm using, but yeah, I'd be using this a lot if I'd have to constantly be turning these. If kind of rather have just one if I was doing that, instead of having to do two. Like, and have them at different. I was thinking that would be nice to have them at different levels, one for the AWA and one for the two car amps, but it's also be a pain. If there were sliders, it wouldn't be such a big deal. But for me. But let's see. So if I forget and leave them on, that's what I'm thinking about now. Forget and leave them on, then they're going to be going to the main mix, but nothing will be coming through that to the speakers during my recording. Let's see. There is a couple of things that don't, it could be an advantage for, like when I do, I have to go back and try it again, but when I do play, it seems to me I noticed when I played a video on the computer, that did not get in, the sound did not, like on the remote desktop, that sound didn't get into, it was either on YouTube or on VLC Media Player. One of them, the sound, it would, no, VLC works because I've done that. That's how I'm getting my sound. I'm actually using the VLC player within, well, a VLC stream player is how I'm getting my camera and my audio through my little mic here. And whenever I play my intro and exit music, that is also using the VLC. I don't know, I can't show it without switching to it. Okay, so VLC will play, but I think when I got on YouTube once or twice, I mean, it's not something I really want to do very often, but if I actually wanted to play a YouTube video, like say part of one of mine or something, I wouldn't play someone else's. They might not like it, you know. YouTube probably wouldn't like it, whether the other person cared or not. I didn't get any sound, I don't think. I know there was something like that. So I would, if it was coming out of the computer through the mixer and I had it up here, then it would go right back through this main, back into the computer, and get recorded, but it'd also be on a bit of a delay, and it might sound like an echo. Well, it sounds like an the only problem I have with that is like if you're live monitoring your mic, you get a real bad echo, you know. Or if I have both of these mics on at the same time, like you heard a while ago, you get a bad echo. So if I did run them through the channel, I think the only way to know is to kind of experiment with it. Okay, I've gone around and around and around about it, and I could have figured it out by just doing it. I just thought, well, I don't want to do all this wiring and then for nothing. But let's see. Maybe I should start with the jam. Yeah, I'll start with the jam box because it's easier to, probably easier to get to. Well, sort of. Let me see. I can close up this. Let's see. Oh, if I'm going to do the jam box, I'll put my camera down low. Okay, there we go. I was pointing, showing the top of that box. Is there? There. Now, if I move my headset, I probably end up wanting my headset in a minute, so I wanted to leave it out. So, see, this is my keyboard tray here. It slides in and out. Thing is, I want to be able to see the colors on the back of the. Okay, I can just see it. Now, this cable, I will leave it. Yeah. Okay, I'm tracing it down. Okay, so white's on the left. See, I can do that just by feel. There's only one set of RCAs back there. So white's on the left. Actually, I think I can pull my tray back out. Okay. White's on the left. Remember that. White's on the left. Red is on the right. The way I'm looking at it here. And I think I'll put my headset over there. Oh, getting hung up with stuff. Okay, white's on the left. This one would not be long enough, I don't think. See, RCA to, what do I need? I need 2/4 to RCA. I think this big old blue one is the one, because this is really for, got a composite video and audio, left and right audio. This is just audio. So let's do this one. And if someday I end up wanting to wire my van up, I'll have to do something else. Do something, figure it all out. Okay, so, yeah, okay. I'm not gonna know, am I? Oh, there we go. This one's labeled. Little bitty stripe, a red and a black stripe. So I'll do, yeah, white's on the left, so black's gonna be on the left this time. Okay, and I probably want to go around. Most of these cables I've been running around this way, but I've also gotten a pile of cables. I think this is long enough. I can, well, no, that won't work. Okay, let's just plug it in. Oh yeah, I do need to do that. I need to go around behind all that stuff. This is getting, well, maybe not. Okay. Okay, red and black. Red and black attack. No, that was white and black attack. Yellow and black attack. Yeah, yellow and black attack. You know what that is? That is the name of a Striper album. Ever heard of Striper back in the 80s and 90s? That's making noise already. Why is it making noise? Well, that's not going to work. I think this cable is so long and it's not shielded. It's making noise. It's making noise in my speakers. Now, I can't live with that. So pretty, but yeah, I knew they weren't. I didn't really think they were shielded a lot, if at all. Pretty cables though. They'd probably be fine on a car amp in a car because it would have noise reduction stuff, you know, in the circuitry. Let's try this. If it's long enough, it's shielded good. This is, I've got one, I have two of these, and the other one's up in my, going from my TV over this way. Actually, I think I have three of them, yeah, because it took two to get, I had to use a female to female to get them to make it. There you go. Yeah, I've got another set. I believe they're still hooked up. Anyway. Okay, so just go ahead and hook this up. But I didn't route it first. Now I wouldn't use the yellow if you do have a cable like this, because it is, let's see, look at, see how much fatter it is? The cables, the good cables that are made for audio and video, like a good composite video cable, is a different animal. It's different kind, different shielding than a different size of cable inside. It should be wire inside than just the audio, and so you really would not really want to, you know, use them for the wrong purpose. It will probably not work well. So I'm just going to make sure I use the audio cables on the audio connectors. Let's see if we get noise this time. Nope. So this one is white and red. It's just a stripe. Yeah, that's quiet. That's good. Oh, here's a, I think I had a twisty on here that I laid down. I was thinking, where did it, shouldn't I have a twisty on it? I don't know now, but I've got one now. I don't know if that's the one I took off of the gray one or the blue one, but now I've got one for this one, because the blue one won't need one. Okay, now if I had some, there's no video on my jam box, so I won't have any use for that. That's why I kind of hated to use it, since it's not. What's that? I've got this right here. This is an S-video cable with audio. It's laying up across that amp, that mic. That's coming from the TV. It's laying up across my antenna. Actually, that won't hurt. Okay, let's see. Where do I want this? I've got a light, a lamp that's gonna, that I'm trying to figure out which way I should go around it. Okay, this may not be as long enough to do this back way. I may have to go up in the front like I was thinking. I'll just go over the top of the computers for right now. See if it makes it. And if it's long enough, yeah, it is long enough. If it's long enough, then I can go behind the computers. The thing is, I've got so many other cables back there. That I don't really want to put more of the big old heavy cable on top of them, of my Ethernet cables back there in the back. So let's see how we want to do this. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, it's a little longer than I need. That's all right. I've got a rat's nest cables over here. Let's see. Can't quite decide. I want to be able to move it for sure. I've got a my plastic box that I want to keep setting up there. Okay. Well, I can always make it a reroute my rat's nest later. There we go. Okay, so that is going to be my input into my, let's look at my stream right quick. Make sure it's still good. I forgot to switch, but I'll switch, okay. Let's go to desktop. Make sure my stream's good. Done so many switching around, it makes me nervous whether or not I messed up. Okay, now there's my what I was doing.
Fuck.
Yeah, we're all good. Okay. Make sure I switch back to my cameras 1 and 2 so I can show what I'm doing. Okay, so I have a little bag full of all different kinds of adapters. So let's see what I can get. Yep, got 2 of them running. Right, pretty easy. These are RCA to 1/4 inch adapters. That's what you're going to want to put it into a channel, or a line level channel. So make sure you get on the right ones. Not using the composite video. We want the red stripe, we want the white stripe. Yeah, this is a well shielded cable. And okay, so yeah. Okay. Now I guess that'll do. That's really going in a direction I didn't care for. I had these all nice and neat. You can see my rat's nest. I had my rat's nest nice and neat and coiled up, and it all went to pot. All came apart. But now, that sends a signal that comes out of my computer back into the mixer. And I can turn it up and down right here. And here, well, of course, here and here. Well, that would send it to the control room. Let's see. Yeah, you know, let me think about this one more time. That would send it to the control room. But is that really what I want? Because sorry, I keep saying this all wrong. Okay, that's just into a normal channel. What that does is go to mains, control room, both outputs. Wouldn't go to tape output, I don't think. See, that's the thing. Normally, a tape output is for recording your sound, and everything would go to it. But I don't think that's how this one works. Let's just try it like that, because I may want to put it on the tape input, and then I can punch it in and out of which side I want it in. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. What did I just do? Okay, that's the input of the that's the input. So I've got it wrong. That's input. I want it on an output, either the tape output or the control room output. Okay. Okay, now there's the control room output. Now, if I were playing some music, okay, I think I need to hook back up my monitor system. No, that'd be the jam box, yeah. Actually, that won't matter, will it? Let's try to keep it. Let's don't complicate it anymore. I was thinking I might plug my earphones into the... I can plug my earphones into the mixer for myself. Well, I need to hear... No, I can plug them straight into the mixer. And that'll tell me what's actually going on, I think. What I really want to know though is what's coming out of the computer. Let's see. See, I don't have this circuit completed yet. This is going out. Boy, am I turning myself around. I guess I'll try to do too much in one day. I'm already wore myself out. My brain's not getting. I was getting kind of hungry, and I ate a little piece of candy, but I probably should have just stopped and ate a meal. That always messes me up. Okay, so yeah, that is an input. That's an aux input. That's how I get my sound into my AWA. Okay, so I go over here. I did have that right. Turning myself in circles here. Yeah. Okay. That comes from. Oh, I see what I'm doing. I mean, yeah, I did it different from what I actually probably should have done. I did from the AWA. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just that I need 2 sets of cable and they need to be going to the right place. Okay, that'd be the output going to the AWA. Say, oh, I was using it on my control room output. And then okay, that comes out of here and goes into the AWA jam box. Now the one that comes out of, I got to get this out of my way, I'm going to mess that cable up. The one that comes out of the, yeah, from the mixer, output to input, okay. From the mixer, okay, now I haven't gotten it into the mixer yet. So the way I would want to get it into the mixer is come out of the, the sound that's coming out of all the computers, coming out of the patch bay. See what I have in the way of. Yeah, there's a pretty long one. RCAs. I already tried the blue and then it's noisy. And then I have a RCA to 1/4 inch cable, which would be a good effects in or something like that, but let's hang on with that. So this one looks long enough to do the whole distance, as long as I have a couple more of those adapters, which I believe I do. Okay. Quarter inch. Okay, yeah, so 2 more of these RCA to 1/4 inch adapters. Put them on one end. This should be an okay cable. Yeah, okay. And I'll have to, actually there's an empty, oh, I think that one's really loose and worn, so I won't use it. I'm talking about up here on my patch bay, so I'll just disconnect that and wait on that. Okay. See, red on bottom, black or white on top. These are they're not all the same colors. Some are red and white, and some are black and white. Okay, come on. Don't fight me. Don't fight me. Okay. Now, that reaches, just reaches, okay. Now, okay. Yeah, see, I'll do my RCA to 1/4 inch adapters. Red and black. Okay, now that completes that circuit. And that audio circuit, not electrical. It is an electrical circuit. It's not very many volts, but it is an electrical circuit. Okay, now get my headphones. Oh, I got those all tangled up. That cable fell off the back of my tray here and tied itself around something down there, all by itself with no help from anything or anyone. Can't believe that. I mean, it's tied. I'm not lying here. I'm going to show you this. I got to show you. I'm not just exaggerating. I thought I was at first. Look at that. Can't get it. Got to get my... It literally tied itself. Let me get back a little further. I don't know if you can see it from back here without any more light. Sorry. There's a loop of a cable that's hanging down there. Let's see if I can put some light on the subject. I can't see it. Let's see. Doesn't really help. A lot of times you can see better in the actual video than... Okay, that's enough of all that. That actually made a loop and hooked itself around some kind of cable there. I don't even know what it is. If I'd have kept yanking on that, all I would have done was destroy things. I knew it felt like it was really there, so I thought I'd better look and see. So let me get all this back together. Now, get this back the way I had it. Let's see. I'm not doing the patch bay anymore right now. Let's go back to here. I guess I forgot to move it. I can't get it all at once, so I'm going to be messing with this part now. So I got it loose. Okay. I can't believe it. Patience is a virtue, that's for sure. Okay, so now I'm going to put this headphone into the one that says phones. Okay. So now my messing up banging my chair into everything here. My camera. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to put the headphones on, and then I'll try talking to the mic and see what happens, and then I'll try you know, playing some sound on there and everything. Trying to get that wire where it's not going to be a problem. There we go. Okay. Now, okay, let me see. Okay, now we should be back on our mic. Yeah. No cam 3. Okay, now let's do desktop and cam 2. Yeah, okay. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's leave it like that. Desktop and cam 2. What I will do, let me look at my recording. Looks okay. I'll just get right there. Let's just go ahead and I'm trying to figure out what it is I want to do. Let's open up this first. And okay, I'm going to do the control room up to, oh yeah, that's going to play out of the jam box too, but that's okay. I don't think I need the headset just yet. what's this other one? Aux return over there. Okay. Yeah, I don't need the headset. That's not what I'm doing right now. I'd like to leave it. If I can find a place to set it where it won't fall, I'll leave it until I need it again. Okay. First, I want to check my stream again, and I won't turn that channel up yet. I think I'm gonna turn it up while the stream's up because that'll tell me what's actually happening in my stream. I think I'll turn the sound on it once it gets up there. Okay. Now, I won't turn that channel up yet. I think I'm gonna turn it up while the stream's up because that'll tell me what's actually happening in my stream. I think I'll turn the sound on it once it gets up there. Okay. Now, okay, I had to wait for it to catch up. Okay, now what happens when I turn this up to about where I don't hear it through the jam box. Okay, I had to wait for it to catch up. Okay, now what happens when I turn this up? And I'm not sure really what's going to. I don't hear it through the jam box. I think I may have. Okay, I had to wait for it to catch up. Yeah, okay, so now, what happens when I turn this up? I really don't know how to. Let's go to my videos. I don't know how to. That was too much delay. I couldn't work with that. Okay, make sure I got my signals right. Yeah, okay, so when I play something on the computer, it comes into this channel, and then if I turn up control room, it should play out of the Elva jam box. Right, okay, that's what I wanted to make sure about. Can't really tell with my mic because of on the live stream and all that. I mean, maybe you could tell something on the recording that I couldn't tell just now, but so let's just click on my previous live stream video and my videos there, and I kind of rather do some music, but let's see. Because that's easier to tell. Whoops. Tell what's going on. Where's the little deal where you go to your channel? Right when I want to go somewhere, it's not there. Okay. Those are my videos. Well, if I go straight to my channel, I have a little slideshow with one of my songs on it. Guess I can search my videos. I have 880 videos just now. I just now realized that. That didn't work. Gosh, I can't remember how to get back to my channel. Unless I just go to my channel. There. That should take me straight to the front page of my channel. And there's my live video that I'm doing right now. Maybe it changes, like when I'm doing a live video it does that, and then when I'm not, because normally when I go there I see my, I don't know, that's something I hadn't noticed. Let's see. I just now realized that, because the other day I was, shouldn't be that hard to find what I want to find. That search, I had lost it. I didn't know it was still there. I thought it was gone. There, this is what I was looking for. Okay, I don't know how long that's gonna loud that's gonna be. Can I hear it in my other speakers? Oh yeah. I can't turn them off. That would mess everything up, I think. Yeah, that would mess things up. So I'm gonna turn this control room up. Leave it down low so you can hear me. Turn the control room up a little bit. I'll turn it about the same as my master is, then I'll bring the channel up, see if it's coming through the owl. I can just turn it up louder than that. It's not working. It's not to me. Not what I was expecting. Oh, it's a weak signal. If I turned up the so it does do what I want. Turn it back like I had. I can give it some gain. There's no gain on that channel. Oh no, this is the line level only channel. So that's with everything. So like I got two separate amp setups now. My normal one. I don't know if you're hearing that in the. If you're hearing that in the recording or just through the mic, like I was talking about before. Well, you should have been when I turned it up in the board. Yeah, because that would have sent it out. Sent it out through the Vamp and get compressed and all that too. But yeah, you should have heard that. I wouldn't know because I guess I really should be listening off of the... Well, but see, I was playing it through the jam box. So I couldn't monitor the jam box the way I did a while ago in the previous video. So... that does work, but I think I'll try a VLC. Let's see. I'll go to my music, and let's just go to one of my. See, I used to like to. Well, I like to sing. I just don't really do it anymore, but I recorded a couple of albums over the years, and so I do have some songs. Let's see. Okay, I'll just start this song in VLC, and it's going to start in VLC. Okay, now turn it down on the computer. Oh, I see. When I got it down low, no wonder the signal was weak because I had to turn it down so that it wouldn't get out of the Wasted too much time. Seems like such a crime. Wasting too much time. I don't know what that's doing. Now that was the last thing. There was just so I'll leave it on the music in case I need it. Okay, let's go back to cameras 1 and 2 again. So, no, let's go back to, leave it like that. And if I want to show the desktop again, I will. But, so yeah, I have the independent control that I was wanting. And the thing that threw me off, I thought, oh no, the signal's too weak. I was going to say I wouldn't be able to use that. But I was wrong, because the reason it was weak is because I turned it down from the computer so that it wouldn't be too loud coming out of the other set of speakers. Now, the logical thing to do would be to turn off the other set of speakers, but I have my... Oh, I couldn't remember. I'm looking down there now. I probably could have turned them off. But I was thinking I have my backup. I've got a USB backup hard drive that has to, has AC power. I mean, a wall wart. Anyway, it's on the other power strip. Let me see what is on that power strip. Oh, well, it would turn. No, I don't have. Do I have anything plugged into it that matters? I can't remember. I'm looking. Okay, yeah, the one thing that might matter is the charger. I mean, if I could do it for a very short time, but the charger for, maybe I will. The charger, there's an extension cord going around and charging this camera that's aiming at it's keeping that camera charged up that's aiming at the Vamp and the Behringer board. So, and then it's going to the laptop and it's going to a light. My red, if you've seen that red cable with the light bulb on it. And that's also having a plug adapter in it where I can. That's really up there so that I can plug in my charger to my camera one. I usually keep it up there on top of my monitor. Right now it's not plugged in there. It's over in another spot so that it can aim at a different angle. But normally it would be up on top of my monitor. But yeah, I can turn that off without breaking anything. So I could mute the mic so as not to have it coming back through the mic. But actually it probably doesn't hurt. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same tests, but this time I'll just do the music again on VLC, and I'll bring it up. I'll just play that song this time. Oh, okay. That's why I can't do it. My amps are not on that power strip. Yeah, I knew it. I had this feeling I couldn't do that, and I can't. My amps are not on that power strip. They're on the other one, and if I turn that one off, that will turn off my my hard drive, and that can damage files sometimes. So, I mean, I could unplug. Let's see, unplug it from the computer. Yeah, I could unplug it from the computer and then it would be safe to turn it off. Okay. Let me get back to in desktop so you can see that in the desktop. Okay. Now, first, I'll have to unmount this. That shouldn't hurt anything. Just need to remember to plug it back in so that these videos get backed up like they're supposed to, and then when I reboot they get backed up, and then I delete the original. They get backed up to that big 5 terabyte hard drive. 4.5 terabytes is all you get when you buy one of those. Okay, now that I'm scared it's like I'll kill something really important when I do that. Okay, I heard the amps go down, so now the car amps are off. Trying to figure out what I can't sit here. If I try to say, okay, I'll play a different song. It's okay now, it's playing. But I can't hear it. Now, volume on the computer is still about what it was. Put my damn box back on. And I'll go back. Okay, I'll go to my live stream and then I'll probably play another one of my video again. Okay. I want to check my live stream first. Might even get a slight chance there to hear that last bit before it catches up. Probably play another one of my video again. Let's see. Okay. I want to check my live stream first. Might even get a slight chance there to hear. Okay, I don't hear any sound, so that last bit before it catches up. I may have broken something. Could have broke something in my recording, did I? I don't hear any sound. I may have broken something. Could have broke something in my recording, did I? I don't hear any sound. I didn't accidentally turn anything off. The mixer's on. Let's see. I hear no sound. Do we have a signal? I don't hear it like I normally do. And so, oh, of course I don't, because I turned my amps. My amps are off. Now, if I were to turn this up, you might be able to hear myself. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We have a signal. Yeah. I don't hear it. See, like this is all too complicated for an old guy like me. So I can turn it up and down. See, I can turn my own monitor up and down
now,
right
if
there.
I were to turn this up, I might be able to hear myself.
It's not very loud because...
We have a signal.
Yeah, because... I mean, that was all the way up. Let's see. I guess if I turn this up louder... Well, I have the jam box on 13 like I normally do to balance it out with the other speakers. But so if I...
Because...
Yeah, bring up...
I mean, that was all the way up.
Yeah, now we're getting some...
let's see.
Oh, I see there's a delay.
I guess if I turn this up louder... Well, I have the jam box.
Yeah, so I can control it. Now, is that anything besides a curiosity? Is it of any use to me? Let me get over here again. Oh, that, yeah. So, but I guess I won't. Let's see. Will I hear it now with that muted? I'm just having to experiment now. Now I don't hear it. So yeah, that was hearing. Okay, that was hearing what's coming out of my computer. Now you see, I could put the main big amps on this other channel. Actually, they were. If I was going to do it, I'd want them on this channel. But I decided for just experimental purposes, I'd put the jam box on there. It's easier to get to everything to wire it. But really, what benefit is it to me? Let me get my headset and see if I catch it coming out of the mixer, what difference would it be? I'll see. Oh, I can hear it really well. Okay. Yeah. And that was with it down pretty low. Let's see. Oh, that channel gets noisy right up there. Gets noisy right there. Right there. With the main up high like that. Okay, let's see. That's still noisy. Yeah, that as soon as you get to Unity, I can hear it on the headset a little bit. I mean, it wouldn't be bad in a live setting, but when you're recording, everything is so much more, and I can't hear myself through my headset though until I turn it up. There I can hear myself pretty good right there, and that's just too loud. Of course, well, there's no gain, but that's just monitoring what's going through the board, you know, and so the headphones are. Yeah, there's no external volume for the headphones, so no extra volume. So that's noisy. Okay. Now, let's try. I'm going to take these headphones off and take them out of the board to get them out of the way. I'm almost leery to put them back over there on my... Hung up. Oh, let's get off of this page. That's using up all my... Yeah, I was able to hear that because I was monitoring the board, not the... let's go back to the 2. I was monitoring the board, not the... actually, what I want... I guess I really ought to put the camera somewhere else if I'm... Oh, that'll be all right. Let's see. There we go. Now, so when I get... Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think about this. Okay. Yeah, this one is my... I want to unplug them first so that I don't have any crossed up stuff. Okay. Now let's get these adapters off of there because I'm going to use the tape input and output. At least that's my plan. Okay, oop, that came off really easy. Well, I'm just going to leave those in there for right now. That'll be fine. Okay, so this is my sound coming out of the computer from the thing up there. Crossover? No, not a crossover. Patch Bay. Look at it and it helps. Okay, so input. So yeah, coming out of the Patch Bay, tape input. Okay. Now I don't know. I'll go ahead and plug them in. Tape output. Oh. Tape output. Okay. That's just barely spread out enough for me to be able to plug those in. Those big deals there. Now, aux return. I keep forgetting what each one is. Okay, so you know that doesn't do anything, but if I turn this up, does it? Okay. Nope. Okay, so that does not let me, but if I punch in tape to control room, okay, I should start hearing myself, shouldn't I? I don't hear myself unless I did it wrong. Maybe the output is intercepting the signal, or the signal's not strong enough in this case. Let's see. It's up all the way. Okay, check 1 2. Yeah, here we go. Okay, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 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 check. 1 2 1 2. Oh yeah, no, there's no gain on that channel. Okay. So I don't think those being plugged in would switch anything, but you can always take them out and find out. Okay, so that's all I get out of it, though. It's not much volume, and I don't actually think those are doing anything, or are they? Check 1 2, check 1 2, check check check. Yeah, they are. They're sending the signal back to the back to the jam box. Okay, and I've got the jam box up all the way. I've got my channels up all the way, and that's. You probably, I don't know if you can hear that in the mic or not. I don't know what it's doing to the actual recording. I think maybe that, no, the control room's separate. It doesn't send it to the main, so that shouldn't affect the mains. Now, if I hit to the main mix, then yeah, and that would probably give you an echo. So I'll try it. Hello, check. Okay, you probably got an echo now. That's sending the tape input to the main mix. Okay. That's not going to be of any use. Okay. So, at least not in the case of sending out Let's see. Well, oh yeah, I forgot. See, that's pretty loud too. It's actually not getting any louder when I do that. When I raise the volume on my computer, it should. Maybe it limits it automatically so that you don't overdrive it. Because that is, you know, I mean, I have volume control on the computer, and that doesn't make any difference. Okay, I have to get so close I have the proximity effect on the mic. Okay, so that does nothing. So I'm getting tired and hungry now. So I learned that. We learned that together. It's the best way to figure things out is to try them out, as long as you kind of know the basics at least. If you know the principles on how things are generally supposed to work, then you can. Oh, the Efx. Yeah, let's turn that back down. Let's see. Efx send and return. Yeah, okay, so, but the one thing that you could do is use it. I'm not quite sure what good that would do me, but Efx return. Efx return, if I did put my, that would be this one. Let's see, if I put my Efx return in here like this. Let's see. Okay. Efx return. Now, all my big red cable would do would just be sending it back to the jam box. I'm going to put my headset in there this time and listen that way. Okay. Now, let's see. Efx return. So let's say I've sent it to 5 and 6. That would just be actually making a feedback loop's all I've done. Whatever's coming out of the computer would come back. The good thing about that could be that if I played music, and now I know that VLC does work, but it should be playing now. Didn't do anything there. Oh, you gotta turn that up. To see what I could see. Okay, I don't know. Perhaps for a long time you couldn't hear me. I'm back on my lapel mic now, but I see there's no signal on my mic aux input. And when I switch to different streams, it doesn't matter. It's not muted. I went ahead and unplugged all my extra stuff from the board that I thought might have whacked it out. But somehow my mic signal is dead. And I don't know why it would be. Now I did, well, that was just in the speakers, you know, I did that a while ago. Let's see. Main still where it should be, levels there, the gain's where it should be. I don't see what's killing the signal. Oh. I was twisting around on things.
I had it all panned all the way to the left. I don't know when I did that. I have no idea how long I was ruining this thing. That's what's bad about doing stuff, fooling around with stuff live. Okay, get out of the echo chamber there. What happened was, at some point when I was twisting knobs, I twisted my pan instead of I was trying to do the effects. Twisted the pan and I turned it all the way to the left. And turned it, for some reason all the way to the left just killed the signal. It shouldn't have killed it, it should have just turned it all the way to the left. But what happens when I go to the right? It's fine, no problem. The middle's fine, no problem. I guess you might have been getting a tiny signal is what it looks like maybe. So, yeah, darn it. Okay, so one good thing about having a backup mic in it, if you see a problem, you can just turn it on, even though you can't use them both at once. So, yeah, I am not, after doing all that, I'm not seeing a real benefit to you know, running my outputs from my computer, or from my outputs from my this computer, but all computers. You know, I mean, that would be all computers going through there, coming out of the patch bay. Through a channel or two channels. Actually, you know, there's not much sense in sending two sends over to the board because it's the same thing. The only reason I have two sets of cables coming out of that patch bay is because there's two sets of mic, two sets of amps. You know, well, there's 3 amps, but one of them I split on the cable itself down there, the car amp. You know, I just used a splitter down there, and this one here, I went to the jam box. It's just on another set of outputs, inputs, outputs, RCAs, another set of RCAs. It's on another set of RCAs. But you know, you could just, what you really could do is just use the one input on the board, and yeah, I was thinking of using 2 different channels, but those input levels are going to be the same, so it wouldn't be just duplicating it. It'd probably make echo. So really, I just need the one set. I'll do it while I'm thinking about it. I don't know that I actually want to use it, but I would do this, and then this would come out, and this is a good cable, so that's how I would do it. I was probably the only way. Well, the tape is not working. It's just not. You can't control it or anything. So the tape input and output really doesn't work for me for this. Okay, so I would have that, and then and instead of just going into the back of the jam box like I have it right now,
I would want to unplug my, I think I'll do it and just to see how it works. Unplug my other cable that's coming out of, that's going down to the amps. Unplug it from up there on the patch bay and use a Y to, let's see, yeah, I'll use a Y on the end of my big gray cable. One end will go to the cable going to the car amps, and the other one will go to the jam box. And then I can control it and control them together like I've been doing all this time. Let's put this back on its normal thing. Okay, let me try that. Let's see, I'll have to, let's go ahead and get it back off of the let's see if I can mess things up again. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm gonna get over here. I should still have sound. Yep. Get over here and do that. Let's just try it out. I'm just not quite clear in my head as to whether or not I even have a use for it. But yeah. Kind of Y do I need? I have a Y. Let me see. Let me turn my camera over here to what I'm going to be doing. Let's see. Jambox, patch bay. I think the patch bay is the thing that is probably the most, you know, that people aren't super familiar with. So, okay, yeah, the Jambox, gray cable. Okay, white on the left, correct? Yep. Okay, gray cable. Just leave it right there for now. If I need some of it, it'd be fine. It's all coiled up over here, but actually if I ever want to pick that up and move it around, I'll need that extra length. Now what I have is, but that's not going to work. It's not RCA. I have a couple of these. They're 3.5 millimeters or 2 females. Pretty sure, oh, I have some mono Ys. Wouldn't be of any use. Okay, let's see. Those are just the normal kind of adapters and stuff. Let's see, there's one that's a 1/4 inch to 2 female RCAs. Not what I'm looking for. Let's see. I'd like to try this one out in that Efx Sound just to see. I don't know if I have the kind of Y I'm looking for at all. Leave that right up there. It might remind me to do that. Let's see. What I really want is 2. I guess that's one reason why I didn't think I'd be able to do it that way. Yeah, to go from wait, I may have one down in there after all. Let's see. I need to go from, what I really need to do is to go from, okay, I can't even say it. I can't even think. If I see it, I'll know it. I'll know that it's what I'm looking for. So I'll just keep looking. Get down into the bottom where the old stuff is. Yeah, if I see her, I'll know her. that much. Okay. Got a random RF cable in there mixed in with the I've got a bunch of composite cables and a bunch of RF cables. I bought a lot of some of that kind of stuff years ago on, like, you know, buyout specials at Parts Express and stuff. But some of the stuff I kind of just came about one way or another, and so it all comes from different places. When you take it out, it never goes back in the same way again. But that's okay. Let's see. Okay. Gosh, I don't know if I have any kind of RC. I think I might have one over here. Let me look. I think I saw it earlier today. Yeah, I've got, now it's a single RCA female to 2 males. Can be useful. It's useful for getting your mic, your 1/4 inch. Actually, what I used it for was to get, I put a 1/4 inch adapter on it. I do have all different kinds of adapters. See, this is two RCAs. If I can get it up there where you can see it. And I've got a 1/4 inch female, but that's because I'm using an adapter. Can't seem to get in front of the camera. See, that's female, and that's an RCA male, and then a 1/4 inch on the other end. And that actually worked to get my mic into the back of the tape deck. I used to use my cassette deck, and it didn't have a mic input, my TAC up there on the rack. This one here. It's a real nice deck, but it doesn't have a mic input because they quit making them. This is, well, it's getting older now. It's probably 10, I don't know when I got it, 2000, 202 or something. But anyway, I didn't have a mixer of any kind. Well, I had the Vamp, but I never did get it out and try to figure out how to hook it up that way. And so I would plug this into the back of the tape deck to right and left, and then my low impedance to high impedance 1/4 inch would go into there, and that would put my mic into the tape deck. But it was very hard to get a good working signal that way. I always had trouble with distortion in my videos and everything. Okay, so I don't have what I would need. So that's one good reason to do it the way I was thinking. I don't actually have another really long RCA either. Besides that blue one that's too noisy. It's not shielded good at all. So, yeah, if I was gonna, and there's a 1 RCA to 2 RCAs. Interesting cable there. Some of them I've never actually found a use for. Okay, so, man, I'm getting hungry now. This is going to be getting on time to quit, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm thinking that I want to put everything back like it was, because I mean, if I come up with another cable, I could always use one of these 3.5 millimeters with adapters on them or something to get to RCA, but I'm not quite sure what I could do. Oh yeah, well, this is 2 RCAs to 3.5 millimeter. Can't ever remember where the camera is, but I guess I could get over here. But you know, there's ways I could put that into use. It's not long enough. I'd have to put another cable on there and then run it into here, but that would not be good for these 1/4 inches. It'd only be good for like that one single effects insert. And I have an actual insert cable. So Efx send, Efx return. Yeah, that would only be useful if I were going to be using this. If I were going to do the Efx send and return, I'd plug this in here and then I would put the other two. I'd actually have to adapt them to 1/4 inch because this is 1/4 inch to get it. Oh, that's, yeah, see, that's the wrong kind of cable. All I really need is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. I don't even have one. It'd be stereo. It needs to be stereo. At least I think this will go either way. I think the Efx Sen will go either mono or stereo. So I would need TRS to TRS is what I would need, 1/4 inch. And I don't even think I have one at all. Which is one very common cable for pro sound, but I don't have, you know, a lot of stuff I don't have. So oddly enough, I have all kinds of stuff, but not some of the most common things. I didn't end up with any. So now here's a way that you might. This is 1/4 inch. This is the old style headphone adapter, but 1/4 inch to male to female. Now see if I could convert that from you know, to male. Then I'd have it. That would do me from here to here. I don't think I have. What would I do that with? Cannot think. Anyway. Okay. So if I were a horse, of course, a talking horse. Do you ever see Mr. Ed? Okay. Forget I said that. All right. It's a TV show. Okay. Yeah, see, that would, if I was to pass my amps through there, then yeah, I mean, I could use this other channel if I had another cable. And then the output of this would need to be split, this output here, to go to jam box and the other two amps. They could just be done on a splitter. This is a good sized cable. It could carry the signal well enough, I think, for, and not worry about it, even on that distance, you know. But the only thing I can think of, I had some. I think they're in use. I think they're in the power supply amp. But I had some gold-plated, you know, RCA splitter, you know, the hard kind, you know. They were not a cable at all involved. You put them on, you plug the male in, and then it gives you two females. And so then you could go. Then you'd have to use two more regular RCA cables to go to each thing. No, actually that would do it. Yeah. If I had one of those on there, then yeah, okay. So I think I'm gonna put it back to normal, and then if I decide I need anything later, I'll do it. But right now, hopefully my mic's still working good. If I don't, you know, mess anything else up. Guess I could leave those laying where they're at. And if I decide to do something like that, it'll be there. Let's plug that up like it was before. So I'm say like it's supposed to be, but maybe that is how it's supposed to be. Okay, and I don't want my long cable in there anymore right now. Okay, that should give me sound out of there. I'll leave it up there for now. I'm really tired and really hungry, so you know what? I'm just going to leave everything like it is. And if I decide I don't like those cables being up there like that, I can always put them away. But for right now, I might decide to do some more experimenting. Okay, that's back to normal. I can actually just lay there like that. What's that? Oh,
part of that's coming off? Oh, there's a little rubbery thing on there that's coming off. A little part came off of that. Yeah, I see. There's only one that has one now. Okay, just a little. Oh, that's. I just thought that was part of it. I didn't know it came off or could come off. Okay, so I want to put everything back to normal and then see that it works. Is what I want to do. Now I'm going to plug my. I think I better. Can't see, and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm gonna. Well, let's see. Get my light, and then I'll be able to see. It's gonna be harder to. I can't see the cable anymore. The one that goes to the hard drive. There it is. Oh, that's what that was hung on. That big old problem I had was my hard drive cable. Okay, now it's plugged back in, but it won't be mounted up until I turn on the power to it, to the desktop. Okay, now when I turn on the power, it should mount up and be back where it belongs. If not, after a reboot it will. Sometimes it gets on a different address, shall we say, and it might take a minute to mount up. It should. Where's the lights on that thing? Yeah, it's on. There, it's mounted up. Okay. It's right there over the hood of the Corvette. That was a cool Corvette. That was a real race car Corvette. Back from the 60s. All right, now. Don't have any more. Now you should be able to hear that. And me changing the volume shouldn't do anything. That should play straight through the computer. Be able to, I know it'll pick up in my lapel mic big time. Oh. Let's just play that song instead. That Control 3 when you're in VLC, it goes to the next.
I did not know that. I had no clue. So that's the one drawback of course, when I do my shortcut. I thought I'd picked a shortcut that wasn't used by any other app, but it's used by VLC. But that's the shortcut I put in to turn my. So now you have a echo. Turn it on and off. Works perfectly anywhere but in VLC. I can be. Well, actually, I usually only do it in. Yeah, see, the desktop audio is really loud. Now I can adjust it. Of course, it's not going through the mixer now, so. But I can adjust it. But this also can be risky because when you make adjustments in OBS while you're recording, or while it's running period, it can suddenly start using up all the memory and fill up the memory on the machine. But that is possible. I mean, you can software mix this stuff. This might be safe. It's looking okay right now. I'm not seeing anything increase, but if you change any settings, you'll be darn sure you messed up. So you know, especially if you're like an old analog sound mixer, then it is easier for me to use an analog soundboard. And I see lots of people, you know, these videos about it all. I'm going to pause that. These videos, but the thing is, if you do the, see that I'll forget, and I will forget to put it back up for the next time. And the next time you may need that, all the way up, very likely. So that's the one thing about that. Of course, as you see, I turned the wrong knob, and that's my eyes. I just don't see that good anymore. Used to, I didn't have very much trouble at all turning the wrong knob on a mixer. Even in, most time you're in the dark almost, and I usually did pretty. You get really familiar with it, and I did pretty good. But it happens. It happens to everybody that makes sound. You can turn the wrong knob. But anyway, I believe I'm back to normal. Let me start that song one more. Did I kill it? Yeah, I think I completely. I want to just see if. That doesn't matter. If I need to change anything on my jam box, like the volumes or anything. Like I said, I'm always forgetting, so when I think of something, I try to go ahead and do it. I checked it, went to put it down, and my finger hit a button. I think it was not aimed. Yeah, it didn't actually hit the function button, so it would have changed it off. It has to be on aux for me to hear the sound of the computer. Okay, so it didn't hurt anything. Now, yeah, we're on the desktop. Okay, so patch bay is back like it was. See, I can review this and tell me what I did, even if nobody watches it. Oh yeah, that thing is no good. It's just about completely broke. So wait, okay, so my patch bay is back to normal. I went ahead and left those other two cables out in case I decide to do something else, experiment or whatever. They are still hooked up to the board. I'll unhook them probably, I guess. We'll see. They wouldn't hurt anything. Well, dangling up there like that, I don't really. They could introduce noise into my signal at any time. So even with the, the faders, the knobs turned down. They're not faders. I don't want to call a knob a fader. I saw one guy that made these real good videos. He called it a fader because he's probably used to faders, too. But it's not a fader. It's a frickin' knob. I could never forget that. So, yeah, I used a bunch of, especially early on in my learning to mix, I used a bunch of like PV. Instead of consoles, they were just little rectangular box mixers, and they're really a pain. Whatever brand they are, I've used all kinds of stuff, from really cheapo stuff to pretty good stuff, But, so, there's my patch bay and my big idea light. That's what it reminds me of, big ideas. I can turn that on. Let's see. I'm not going to. How do you? Oh yeah, there's a pull. I keep forgetting the pull chain. It's turned towards the back. There's a pull chain for that. The actual switch up there on top is actually going out. It doesn't work right, so I get it on and leave it on. And plus, I want it on because I can leave it on all the time. And plug in my wall wart charger from my phone into there and leave it in there, and then I can, if I ever want, I haven't actually used the light yet. That's an LED bulb, so it wouldn't get too hot or anything. But I thought it might be handy to have that bulb up there for when I'm working on stuff. But I also have that other light back there. You can't really see it in the picture. It's right behind the paper towels on the right of the rack, but it's you might have saw it when I was working. It's on an arm, and you can move it around. I've got one of those fluorescent swirly bulbs in it, but that's gets a little hotter than an LED, but not as hot as a regular bulb. And that's the one I usually use when I work on something I need some more light. But I'm back to where I started as far as I think. I mean, if I want to put in another mic, if I have, then I can do that. If I wanted to put, music devices in here, I could. Now that's something I could do. I could plug in, use one of these cables to send music from my cassette deck or my DVD player through here. That's something that's realistically could do, could possibly want to do. at some point. I don't know, though. I mean, pretty much anything I could put into there, I would probably already have in the computer, you know. I'm not going to be playing anything but my music because, you know, you get your video blocked for copyrights and all that. Of course, I do have the S-video and audio cable coming from the TV. Well, it's not actually coming from the TV. It's coming from my VCR. I have two things over there. I have a VCR, SVHS VCR, and a DVD player recorder with a TV tuner, an ATSC, you know, digital TV tuner in it. I used to use it a lot. I used to record everything I watched, but then the recorder quit working, and it won't play or record, but it still does work as a tuner. So if I do turn on the TV, that's the only way I can tune, because that's old TV. It's an old CRT TV. So anyway, I had thought I would copy a bunch of stuff off of old media onto the computer too. That's one reason why I leave the cables run through. But well, and to get audio, like if I want to, I used to have it wired up all the time, but I ran out of cables, I think is what happened. But anyway, if I want audio to come out of that DVD player, like when I'm watching it on the tuner, then that's what that cable's for. Yeah, I think so. Seems like I had one of those big gray cables for that, but I think I might have decided to do something different, plug it in somewhere else or something. So anyway, why am I rambling about that? I have no idea. Guess I'm wearing it. Oh, my cable thing moved a whole lot. Hadn't even noticed it. I bumped into it with the chair, I imagine. It takes it so long to catch up with what I'm doing. Yeah, sorry. Well, I guess it didn't matter too much, but that was where my camera was supposed to be. You can see my arm down there. See, I have a double layer desk. I have another section I built. This was just a cheap, you know, Office Depot desk or whatever here. And then I built a section underneath where I can lay my arm under there and use the mouse. And I also have shelves that pull out without. It helps a lot with the stress, and you know, you can rest your arm, and it helps a lot with stress and strain when you're spending a long time on the computer. So, where's that going? Oh yeah, I was looking at a cable that's in a big loop over there. Okay, so I guess maybe it'll hit me later exactly what. I guess when I watch the video myself, go back through it. This is usually I kind of flip through them, but there's so much experimentation in this video. I might have to watch the whole thing myself just to figure out what I've done. But yeah, now at least for myself, I have a record of how all that turns out. Cause boy, it's a lot to remember for me anymore. So yeah, lots of possibilities. What use you might get out of them, it depends on what you want to do. Hopefully I didn't mess up my settings for my mic. I finally got that tweaked in and got it the way I wanted it. Everything looks in the right place, so I think it'll be alright. So, that's enough of that fun for today. Didn't end up adding anything to it after all that. I don't think... Well, I mean, I could run my main amps through here instead of that jam box. You might have noticed it doesn't sound very good all by itself. It adds... It's real MIDI. So, it is good along with... I mean, I could change the EQ a little bit. It does have some EQs in it. And I think it's on rock, which is the one I like. It has, you know, like preset EQs. Doesn't have a real EQ. Anyway, but it's MIDI, and which is good along with the others because it brings out the voices. and I can understand what people are saying. All by itself, it really has a lot, it lacks a lot in listening by itself. But along with the others, it actually really brings out the vocals. So the car speakers are really good at the highs and the higher mids. The bigger speakers are good at the lows and the warmer sounds, and then the stuff right in the middle there, that the Jambox speakers just kind of bring that out a little bit. So altogether, it actually sounds okay. So, I guess I'm ready to go then. And I will get back to my Linksys router stuff, or my TP-Link router stuff. Now that I got the sound straightened out on this, I should be able to go back to my normal, what I've been working on lately, and be happy with the sound. Yeah, and I guess once I think, I don't think I'll be able to think it through anymore without going back and reviewing this video and seeing what my experiments turned out to be like, and the actual product, the video, the end product there. So, okay, this done. Starving now, and I'm gonna go get something to eat. And my throat is really quite sore now, so no more talking today. Okay, bye-bye.